इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, one and all. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode webinar slot for business opportunity with Chai. Yes, the initiative which we have taken almost a month back on 1st of May 2020, and we are at 69th edition of the same. Franchise India name, which is operational in market since 1999, helping all the potential business buyers getting their dream brands from us, and helping national international brands to expand their business with us. This particular session is hosted by Mr. Gaurav Maria, who is the chairman at Franchise India Group, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary. She is the MD at Franchise India Brands Limited, and both will share their insights, their suggestion and feedback with all of us. We are representing you today another brand, Bonton, the brand name which is known for quality eyewear. It is India's oldest optical chain, operating since 1951 and enjoying 69 years of experience. They started their first outlet in Janpad, Delhi. It was founded by Mr. D.L. Madan, and today we have Sanjeev Madan, sir, with us. He's the managing director at Bonton, talking about how 3 generations of their family taking this business ahead with all of us. With this introduction, I welcome Sanjeev, sir, for this particular webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sonia. Thanks, Gaurav. It's been a great long journey with the industry right now from last 69 years. And now we think it's the time, because India has not seen the golden period of eyewear or eyewear industry yet. So we feel that our experience can help not only the industry as such, also the consumers of India, which have been loyal to us. Not only loyal to us, have got trust in us in last 69 years. So we, with Franchise India, we thought, we should take this journey further ahead and especially in guidance of Gaurav, today we are taking this step. Next slide, please. We started in 1951. You know, it was a small store, and India had just been independent that time. So not many products were available that time. Not much services were available in eye testing or anything that time. But over a period of time, what we did, we became the pioneers in introducing not only the products, the best products of those times, also the machinery. We've been first in the best eye testing machinery, which used to test eyes. We were amongst the first ones in North India to start with contact lenses, be it hard lenses or soft lenses. And almost in every sphere of the industry, we've been always first. Be it manpower, the quality manpower, what we kept, the quality training which we gave them, and also the product along with it. Next, please. Next. Yeah. Mostly, you know, over a period of time, uh, we concentrated on few things which were very critical because we had regular clientele, many prime ministers, most of the prime ministers of India, most of the presidents of India, more than half of the cabinet has been our customers. Amongst the best of the Indian industrialists have been our customers. And because keeping that in mind, you know, our standards had to be the best in the world. So because our competition was not much with India that time, it was mostly with international clientele also because Janpat being an international destination for foreigners who were visiting India. And a lot of people who were our clientele used to go out of India. So we also made sure that whatever we kept abreast with was the best in the industry available anywhere around the world. So seeing that into keeping that into mind, you know, so we made sure that we have a robust system which helps not only the industry, even our consumer or customers who were frequenting India or frequenting international joints. And so we kept abreast with all the technologies available anywhere around the world. So we took that, and later on, we made sure that we grow our number of stores also over a period of time. Next, please. Next. Uh, Not only this, you know, if you see the pictures here, we've been with many of the dignitaries that time also, now also. And and this has been all because of the kind of ethos my father, especially Mr. D.L. Madan, has brought into the profession. He's been the longest serving optician of India today. He was awarded with Lifetime Achievement Award also just 2-3 years back. And probably he's been the only optician in India who served almost 8 to 10 prime ministers and uh, presidents till date. And we are continuing that thing today also. Uh, Today we are in the third generation. My both sons have also joined the business. Uh, and the younger son has made sure that, you know, as the new demand is there of our stores being omni-channel, he's been the one who has come out with our website, bonton.in, and which in last some time has become quite successful. And we would like to take that thing, and with that growth also, we will be helping our uh, franchises also in that, and we'll amalgamate their operations also with the online operations. A few things apart from the technology, even on the front of software usage, we were awarded by SAP India because 12, 13 years back when we launched the first ERP solution, SAP in India, they were actually very shocked, and they were amazed, such a small size of company, medium size, going into the world best software. And that actually shows that what we would like to give the best to our customers, because end all, it helps us to improve our bottom lines. It helps us to bring in more professionalism. Not only that, it also brings in uh, what is very critical is the sanctity of the stock, and it also helps us to understand what kind of demand we will have in future of the products. Next, please. Next. Here we can see, the kind of products what we are using. We are actually, as we feel we have a leadership advantage, we using the best products, be it contact lenses, Acuvue, Bausch & Lomb, or Alcon, or the best lenses in the world which are available, which is Nikon, Zeiss, Essilor, and Hoya, and others also. In spectacle frames and sunglasses, we are partnering with Luxottica, which owns the largest set of brands in the world, with Safilo, and with Kering, which does handle the brands like Cartier and Gucci and other brands also. And whereas dispensing is concerned, we employ the best dispensing equipment in our stores, which is available in the industry till date. And we've been awarded for all these services. Contact lenses, we've been awarded by Bausch & Lomb many times as the best retailer shops. The same is with the Ray-Ban sunglasses. To top it all, if you take a survey today, and the survey has been taken by international companies, as an optician, apart from the the national chains what are there, as a independent optician, we are rated as #1, not only in North India, mostly in India today. Leave apart the national chains. So you can imagine that is the kind of customer satisfaction level and name recall we have today. Next, please. Next slide, please. These are the few brands what I've been talking about. You can have a look on them, and they are the world best brands. Next, please. These are the few awards which we have been receiving, and for which we work further on to achieve many more miles to go. Next, please. Now, why we need to go to the franchise way? One of the key point is that India is a moving up market, and with we can see with the pandemic today, especially, most of the things have moved. Even the school children, their need, work from home has moved. The market is ready for that. We would like to give a kind of product to the consumer with the best services involved, and the solution of eye care, which we think we can give it to our consumers, and the market as such can really make some differentiation in the quality of dispensing in the industry. I'll tell you a small little thing. My eldest son, who's worked in England, and he was with the largest store in the world at Oxford Street of Vision Express a few years back. We found out that the quality of dispensing what we do in India is even better than what they get in this part of the world. And then we realized our dispensing is the best understanding of the need of the consumer, which is key to everything, is also far more better than those opticians there in that part of the developed world. So we thought, it makes sense for us that the kind of knowledge and expertise what we have with us now, we can put that into practice by this mode of franchising. So this is what we want to bring into the franchise world and give them an experience of going ahead with the best quality dispensing techniques and services available in the world. Next, please. This is actually my father, me, my younger son, my eldest son. Next, please. Now, coming on the franchise part, we will be giving all our franchisees, a 360-degree support, setup, guidance. Obviously, training is going to be pre-trained and post-training, and on setup training is going to be on regular basis. We do that regularly with our staff from time to time. They go through a rigorous training almost every month to hone their skills, to know more about the product, to understand the product. Because if they first understand the product, they get to understand the need of the consumers also. Whereas inventory management is concerned, we will be giving you the software what we are using. And let me tell you, on inventory management, probably we are the only optician in India who has 99.9% stock sanctity today. And it's not from now, it's been more than 10 years. So that is the kind of diligence inventory management we have. Operations manual will obviously train your people firstly and keep a check. You will get to understand what operational needs are of everyone. We'll obviously have a very senior person who understands the industry very well as a franchisee coordinator with you. We'll facilitate you, obviously, advertising in-house, outdoors, as well as, the best part is that now we also will be employing social media marketing. We have an entire team which handles that now. And we want to take that path very rigorously. Not only as Bonton, even our partners are going to be partnering us for promoting our stores, not only our stores, our franchisee stores also, and the products what we sell in them. So obviously we'll get a lot of PR support on that from time to time. Like we come out with a lot of activities which get PR support. This is the kind of support. There are other supports also depending upon the need of the times and the partner needs. We will be lending them that also. Next, please. On marketing, as I was telling you, database marketing, we already have a very large database, which we use that to employ SMS marketing. We do social media marketing, as I told you, PPC marketing also now. Visual advertising, guerrilla marketing, especially, from time to time, because the market is very sensitive to pricing sometimes. So we use these tactics of guerrilla marketing quite often now. Obviously, we have collaborations with almost every brand available, which is available in India. Not only in India, we have few brands which are for upmarket, premium and luxury segment, with which we have collaborations from which we get the products in India, which are specialized products, which most of the opticians in India don't even have to keep them. They don't get that to keep them. Next, please. Now, coming on the world marketing, global market, eyewear market is somewhere around 120 billion today. Um, in next 7 to 10 years, it will be somewhere around 300 billion. And whereas India is concerned, India will be somewhere around 12 to 15% growth. We will be seeing that. And I think, so you can imagine we'll be 3 times the growth of the international market very soon. And as I say, we have not seen the golden period of optical eyewear industry yet. Next, please. Why the growth drivers which are there actually for the industry is, as I was already saying, digital devices, everything today we are using has got a screen over it. Students or me or we all are using cell phones. So obviously the requirement will increase. Diabetes is there in next 10 years time. And we have a very young population today, which requires, education, working, all that. And it requires some kind of solution of eye care. So we will be raising standards. Obviously, it will help us to increase not only the quality of the spectacles what we dispense, even with more disposable income, sunglass industry also moves up. And as people understand what is the need for UV in India, the sunglass industry and the ophthalmic lens industry will increase. Uh, collaborations with different institutions to mitigate vision disorders in rural areas. Because mostly today in tier 3, tier 4 types of cities and rural India, we don't have much of eye care dispensation happening. So that is also an area which we can take it forward. And because as the latest census which is saying and the demographic figures what are coming, in 10 years time, there'll be a lot of, the present population will move towards the 40 mark. And with the usage of uh, all what is, we are using cell phones or computers, or we will be needing a lot of presbyopes. And India being the cataract capital of the world, we require solutions for that also. So we have a huge market potential, which probably is probably second to none today. Next, please. This is a small financial presentation, what I'm sharing with you. Now, this is all illustrative. We can have a smaller size of store, which we can start with a unit cost of 35 lakhs, let's say a 350 square feet store. And depending upon the location, and the kind of investment, there will be variables happening, like if we use more of branded eyewear, the cost of the project increases. There are few things which will remain the same, but most of the things, it is going to be dependent on the location of the store, the kind of market we want to cater, like a place like Galleria in DLF or Khan Market in Delhi. Obviously, such a store will not be needed because the market there are top end markets and they will be requiring something different. In malls also, depending upon the location of the mall. So this is variable, but the best part is that second year onwards, in second year or so, we are profitable. That's the best part of the industry, what it is there. And obviously, when we add on the strength today of website to our existing businesses, and the businesses, what we will have with our franchisees on, it will help us to grow not only faster, and it will help us to grow more profitable also. Next, please. These are again snapshots which are there. Any questions you can ask me on them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I think very well presented, and thank you once again for coming for the forum, because we really value, because it took us many years to convince you, because you've been running a very successful family business, and to bring in other partners, it's not an easy decision. And you are a operator yourself with running 12 stores. So thank you very much for considering franchising and also considering Franchise India. And we're very delighted for this partnership. You are a very well established and very credible brand. As you said, I mean, almost everybody who especially lives in Delhi has needs no introduction. Almost all society, and especially with what I call the influence group, the Bonton has been a very, very popular brand name. So we'll start with a lot of questions, which I think already started coming on the.
Gaurav, can I add on one thing here?
Please.
It's not only Delhi, in North, if you see, most of the businesses in North, key people, politicians, people who are well heeled, who can afford today, know our name. Simple reason, because many a times they have been our clients. And the kind of, today also we have traction in North, which is amazing. And that's why it makes us the largest sellers in most of the price categories, whereas quality categories I'm saying about, you be it ophthalmic lenses, you be contact lenses, you be it frames or sunglasses. So today also we have a very, very strong name. And all the international firms which have done surveys, they have found that again and again. Even after, as I rightly said, you leave apart the national chains, we are number one, whereas the thing that has come. And that's across in all the surveys.
Absolutely, and I would like to point that the specialty retail, especially the optical retail, is the third category across retail spectrum by per square feet efficiencies. First is gold jewelry, second is liquor and tobacco, which only is limited to travel retail, and third is optical. These are three categories which not only offer a very strong margin, but per square feet efficiency, they're the best categories in the space. So if you are in a retail business, you cannot get better than these three categories because the kind of per square feet efficiencies you get is the best in that. Now let's go into deeper into the understanding where Bonton stands for. So there is a huge gap in the bridge market. The bridge market is from value to premium and even to luxury. That's the whole space, the spectrum they do. This is not so many players are able to bridge that. So they are able to find an absolute gap in that space. And that is a gap which I think would continue to rise, because a lot of people who are at this stage buying value product would need to uplift themselves. So three major growth functions we see in the industry. One, as Sanjeev said, per capita itself, the penetration of optical in India is very, very low. We had this traditional chashma market, and I think we are not able to do that. We still have a larger problem in that people really have no, the per capita penetration is very, very low. One of the lowest in the world. It is going to go up. So that's one big growth story. Second, it's also becoming a big fashion quotient. People earlier used to buy from necessity viewpoint, but now they have multiple pairs and things that, because this is also part of their lifestyle and so on and so forth. So this also increases their purchase cycles. So average person buying a pair in a year now is buying more than that. So that's also changing very, very fast. And especially younger ones are more adaptable. They are more changing faster. Third, it's also that people are moving from value product, which they've been consuming, to a little bit next level product. So the partners they have are the world's largest companies like Luxottica and so on and so forth. And they are very strong product quality. And this is one of the areas where we see an opportunity. We see this whole mid-level, mid to high level kind of an opportunity exist in almost all top cities of India and a very, very large space. Now, Sanjeevji, I will try to get some questions from you. You've given a little detailed industry overview. I would also like to see, a lot of people are talking about online while you are also online, but we have seen the other trend. We have seen people who were in online business actually had to shift to offline because the product was very strong on offline. So what is your viewpoint on that? I see that discovery people like to do online, but they actually make a purchase decision and they get the complete experience only when they visit a store. So what is your opinion? What do you see, and what do you see from the world which is happening in the online to offline? While you are currently also an O2O player, you are online also and offline also. But what is the largest sense you're seeing from retail viewpoint?
See, first thing is very clear that omni-channel is the way forward. And I've been advocating that throughout, RAI or anywhere, wherever I have visited, wherever they have put me on the panels, I've been telling that online is very, very critical. But until and unless it is backed by offline, it will never be a successful game. That is why most of the online players, you take a Lenskart or anyone, they had to come to the offline part very clearly. They wouldn't be successful otherwise. First thing. Second thing, it transcends boundaries. That's what is, the world is open to you today. A lot of our customers, who've been like new markets have opened for us when we have gone online. Our existing clientele also is able to interact with us, let us know their needs, and we have been able to suffice them. Whereas feel factor is concerned, it is very, very critical. Good products, value product is less, even, luxury or premium segment also. It helps grow offline also. So that's why, as a player, we are going to offer our franchisees a model which is omni-channel. They can help their client, they can find their clients, they can let them know what we have, because not every of our store will have what we will have online. Because somewhere something will miss, that market doesn't require. But if they want it, that time they can actually visit us, we can show them. So it is a synergy which will be basically going to help grow both categories.
Sure. And now, before we get into detail of business model, I would like to understand that we've been talking and we've done at Franchise India a lot of study. These independent optical stores which don't have economy of scale today, you also would agree that they would find it very difficult. And I normally we're getting now these days a lot of requests from even existing opticals who want now partner with the brand because they feel that they don't want to run in independence because the supply chain, the product sourcing, the SKU mix, the kind of, I understand you are the best in the country today from the SKU mix viewpoint. And this everybody should know because a lot of time we compare with companies which run their private label and a couple of other companies which have that. At this stage, consumer is looking for an offering which comes from all branded products available, a lot of private labels products available, and they are the ones who not only have the widest experience, but the widest range of SKU mix. Because this is very important today, that the business it's all about stock turnovers. If you don't have the right mix of the stock, you will never get that turnover. So they have the right there. And this is very difficult for independent optical operators to run that because the whole business is becoming a little more consolidated at the back. And just for sourcing, get better margins, all that would become difficult. What is your viewpoint on that?
Absolutely. It happened first in the developed world. It is happening now in India. And with, COVID on, the challenges of the industry, every industry has risen. And a lot of people, in our industry, we are finding them, they have got closed. Now, many will be piggybacking on key brands also. So that's where, our placement is very crucial because the kind of respect what we command in the industry is going to be an opportunity for us to grow. So this is, I feel, it will happen. Consolidation is a way forward. It will happen. And as you are saying, economies of scale is going to be very critical. It's critical everywhere. You know, the best part is our industry is today placed in a far more better position after COVID than most of the industries worldwide. So that's what the first thing is, because it is a necessity. And every human being requires optical product or eye care solution sometime or the other in his lifetime. You know, so it's a very, and the best part is it has amalgamation of technology, it has got amalgamation of uh, fashion also, and medical too. So it's in a very great position.
Absolutely, and I completely agree that this consolidation is unavoidable. It would sooner or later would happen, and now another question I have is on the supply chain. You know, one is the supply chain, how this would work for a franchisee, what kind of assortment and how the assortment you would like to change depending on the city and the neighborhood, and because obviously there is a difference when you do Khan Market, you have a different assortment, different. I think this is the most premium retail space in the country today. So there is a different demand size and different structure. But when it comes to Gurgaon, where you have working executives, the demand side might change a little bit and different structure. So how do you do assortment? That's one question. Second, on the supply chain, you know, China has been the largest supplier for optical industry for a very long period. And while there is a huge supply comes from Italy also, and a lot of other countries also, and India also have now risen up to build their own capability. So do you think with this whole China thing going on, would it create some kind of a challenge in the industry on how soon India would see an opportunity to cope up with their own capability of produce, or markets like other European countries would move into India for better production?
I'll tell you this insight. I am also the General Secretary for All India Optical Federation of India, which is the largest retail chain of India. We've been working for this thing from quite some time back. And over a period of time, we have seen, ophthalmic lenses, a lot of lenses which we all are getting are coming from China as such, but a lot of them, most of them are getting processed in India. Over a period of, I think, in next 1 years or so, big brands, I will not name them, who have large facilities in China are moving to India. And we've got confirmation from them, and we've been working very diligently and closely with them to get those facilities in India, because we have a great market, and the sentiment today is anti-China. Whereas frames are concerned, non-metallic frames are being manufactured in good quantities and in very good quality in India today. What we lack is few facilities of metal framing. In next 1 year's time, I think 2021, when we move into 2022, India will be in a position, because that's what we've been discussing with people. We're putting in the pressure to the government also. And soon we are giving them a report in next 2 months' time where, we will be asking them special incentives for optical industry, because it is not only import substitution, which is very critical, it is export also, which will happen in India. So being one of the, our association has got the best of the operations in India and part of it. And we've been working very diligently on that. And I think in next 1.5 years time, we could turn out to be one of the strong competitors to anywhere around the world. And most of the branded eyewear, which is coming, it is coming from Italy and Western world, most of it. They might have some part made in China, but most of it is coming from the Western world. It's only the non-branded ones which are coming. But that too also now will become less, because metal frames are only the ones which we are not able to make them successful in India. Non-metallic acetate frames, TR frames, we have a very good lineup.
I also see that there's a huge opportunity to build a cluster in India, industrial cluster in India, to produce, not only to produce for India, but I think India can become a very large global market. And I think some states should come forward and take this as an opportunity to invite your association to really set up some clusters or manufacturing groups, global companies to come and do that. Like there was a long time back, there was a big move done by Himachal for setting up a watch component clusters and a couple of other clusters. So there is a huge opportunity on that. Now, going on the business model on your stores, what is the assortment of stocks, how it works? That's
Yeah.
important. And second, in this business, we also, the franchisees sometimes come to us and say, what happens to not slow moving stock or dead stock? And would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, whereas SKUs are concerned, we've got stores in places like Khan Market or Gurgaon. We also have stores in Lucknow. We also have store in Ghaziabad, Noida. So the kind of inventory what we have in our store differs upon place to place. When we choose a location, ourselves, and that is what we will do for our franchisees also. We would have studied the catchment area also by that time, and we would be having good figures of the kind of product which is already moving in the industry in that catchment area. That will determine the kind of investment of stock which is there, the mix of brand, non-brand, So that is what is going to be. Whereas old stock is concerned, what we have started doing that is, we've started coming out with schemes for our consumers. And with these schemes on, we don't feel, we will be left with stocks which are there with in our stores also, because what matters is the kind of investment what we do. But yes, we surely will be looking into how we make sure that the last money invested by our franchisee, as invested by us also, he doesn't have to face this story of, stock lying unused. So
That's
we
very
can
helpful.
come out with schemes, and we can come out with, trade-offs, so that he's incentivized, because every money invested has to get its bang of the result.
Absolutely. And I think this is a very good, and they have a lot of experience. They have multi-decades of experience. They know exactly what would move, what would not, and what stage, what promotions you need to run through so that you are able to do that. This is what I always say, working with a mature retailer who have run and operated their own businesses, you're always in the safe hands because they understand how to move stocks from shelf to shelf. They understand what stock should work and which markets. And also in the first quarter or 2 quarters, every store gives you business intelligence. That business intelligence very clearly who's buying, what kind of a clientele is coming in. And the next round of stock filling you do, you actually do it on based on that science. And that's something which their core strength is. Their core strength has been retailer. This is one of the areas which is very important, because a lot of times people come with some different backgrounds, but they don't have direct retail experiences. They struggle. Even the large companies struggle because they don't understand the stocks. Because they have operated their stores, they've been involved as a family into the stores, they understand what works, what doesn't work, what kind of merchandise people buy. In this business is very complex if you don't understand merchandising. And that's something, the biggest strength really comes from Bonton, because I would say that's the topmost marks I will like to give, because they understand how to select the right SKU, how to place the right SKU. They understand what kind of fashion statements, because this also keeps changing. Sometimes something is very much in and because they are sitting on the pinnacle of the trend setting. So trend setting starts from stores like Khan Market and likes of them. You start seeing what is people now looking at, and then it starts going into other markets. This is how it happens everywhere. The top neighborhoods, Oxford Street, he said, Oxford Street would set a trend and then it'll go pan UK, pan structure. Milan would set a trend, it would go across board. So this is one of the areas where they are early to see that what is this year fashion going to be, what is this so winters people are going to pick, what kind of frames they are liking, what kind of designs are moving in, what age groups are preferring what. needs to be done. So they are quickly able to adapt their buying cycle, and so hence the franchisee also. And on our special request, Sanjeev ji has actually their stores themselves, which they have opened up, are very high capex because they do a lot of good interiors, top class structure. But at the request I had with call with him, and he's agreed to re-engineer, especially for our audience, that we are able to, at this times people don't want to invest so much. We have engineered that still the feel and look of the store looks same, very premium, top class, good amount of stock, very good quality of equipment, because equipment is your lifeline, because eye testing is your lifeline. If you don't really do accurate and top class eye testing, you will always disappoint the customer, and customer is your subscriber in this business. Once you start buying from one optical store, you continue to come back to the same place in generations. Even he will have some stores and he can tell you examples where the father used to buy and now sons come there, and their further generations come there, and so on and so forth. So this is our generational business in that sense, because people become subscriber to a place and they would continue to buy from there. Now I'd like to invite Sonia for your remarks on the industry and also some of the questions, because a lot of questions are coming in. And if you want to take up some questions, please.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev ji. I'd like to thank on behalf of everybody here today. And I'm a personal I would say customer. You know, my introduction to the brand came in when I was a kid. My grandfather used to buy from you, and he was a very meticulous guy. And that point in time, today we have a lot of people buying these pairs, and they have multiple pairs. But that time, I think people never bought more than two, and one was always a spare. So he was very particular about the appointment he had at your showroom, and I kind of agree to what you also mentioned in your presentation: trust and loyalty. And trust has always been one of the cornerstones as far as eyewear retail is concerned. And it's very common to find people across generations coming at the store. So I'll take up some questions which I'm seeing.
Sonia, one thing I want to reiterate: we will never compromise on three things, which is very critical, because people have reposed complete confidence and trust in us. One is the kind of personnel we have, the kind of product we have, and the kind of machinery what we have, because these three things make up everything. So we don't want, and the kind of services, the backup what we give to our clients, we have gone beyond boundaries. Even during the pandemic, whenever our customer has called for a request of anything urgently, he has been met. Apart anywhere, not only in Delhi, even in Lucknow, we have made sure, he is taken care of. Even if we had to, request few things through. Not only that, any time round the clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, we've helped our customers. Gone to the airports, make sure they get what they need. So that is the kind of level of, passion we have. And this is what's going to be very critical for us to choose the investor or the franchisee who wants to join us. We want to understand what kind of passion he has to do.
I agree, Sanjeev, and I see there are a lot of businesses people are doing. There are not many businesses which survive the kind of years you have and also remain relevant. So there's a perfect blend. I would say you have a heritage attached to the brand, and you're also bringing in the modern day relevance, which has been kept intact. And I would say you have always been ahead of times. Even then, when you started, you were much ahead of time. There were not many companies that time, and I saw the pictures, and I can relate to all that you've done all these years. And there are a couple of important factors which you mentioned. One is obviously the quality of product and the portfolio of product. The second is delivery time, which is convenience that today people are paying for. And what I would say, after sales, service, and technology, which is a new entrant. So all these four components are responsible for making a business format successful. And you have a combination of all of these. I'll take one question, Sanjeev ji. This category has three segments. Ek aapka spectacles ho jata hai, which is the biggest. I would say about 73% spectacles ka hai. Then about 15% is sunglass, and third is contact lens, which is about 12%. So in Tino mein, which is the biggest, I would say, revenue, and while the percentage of spectacles is high, if I understand the revenue mix of the outlet, what gives the biggest revenue at the outlet? One, and typically ek store ka, the kind of formats that we discuss, what kind of sales can be anticipated from a store?
See, I'll tell you again, this is all variable, let me tell you. But obviously our major revenue comes from spectacles. And I think it contributes, again, depending upon, like in a place like where fashion is very critical, a place like Khan Market, let's say, the the it will be almost 45% revenue is coming from sunglasses, 55 is coming from spectacles, or maybe 7-8% on contact lenses or so out of that. When you move to a place like Lajpat Nagar or a place like South Extension, again, the sunglass quotient comes down. In malls like, City Select Walk or, again, it moves up the sunglass segment. But more or less, the industry earns maximum revenue from the spectacles generation, the most profitable part. So that's what is going to be key to it. And the entire optical industry hinges into it, on it.
Right. So, and here you have subscribers, you have predictable audience which comes to you regularly.
Yes, that not only that, today the number of patients who are wearing prescription sunglasses is also very high.
Right.
So if I say I have a particular, let's say 25% of the revenue coming from from sunglasses, out of that, at least 30-35% persons, more than that, could be wearing spectacle sunglasses, which is a very growing segment.
Yes.
So it's basically, if I take that also category into the spectacle part, so that means we have majority of the category, let's say 75-80%, which is going into spectacles, inclusive of the sunglass spectacles part. Traditionally, contact lens gives somewhere around 5-8% of revenue only. That's what happens. But that's a category which comes with time, because that means a lot of diligent backup, services to the clients.
Right. Okay, I'll take up some more questions which I've rather taken a note of. Sanjeev, a lot of people who are first-time entrepreneurs also coming on this platform, they want to understand if they're the right profile to get into it. Any specific profile of people are we looking at? Any specific training which is imparted to these people? If you can just maybe shed a little bit light on this.
The first and foremost has to be passion. What is very key is that because it might be fashion, but end all it is servicing. So you should have a bent of mind to service your client, to service his need. That is the passion what we are looking for in an entrepreneur today. Whereas training is concerned, we will obviously, as I rightly said, pre-store opening, post also, we have regular trainings going on. Because we feel being a student is the most critical element of optical industry. The kind of menu, what we give it to our customers, that requires regular training, regular education, re-education. And that we do it very regularly. So it is going to be, you have to have that kind of mental bent for that.
Some more questions. I see still, I'm not too sure if I can take all of them, but I will still manage. What kind of locations are we prioritizing? I'm seeing inquiries coming from a lot of locations, all across the country. Is there any priority in terms of locations you want to get into? One. Second, is tier 2 also a focus area for you? I see some people from tier 2 and they want to understand there's a potential of this category, the bridge category in these cities as well.
See, North is our first preference. And tier 2 is open because we already have stores in tier 2 towns. We know how they operate. North is our first priority. Obviously, we can have some exceptions looking into place like Bangalore, because it's a very, very strong market, because because of the technology capital of India, we can look into Pune, places like that. We can look into Chennai and around. So we have to see the market first, but we are more keen to start with the North.
Okay.
But yes, these locations are up for grab. very clearly.
All right. संजीव जी एक और क्वेश्चन है which a lot of people, because some people are from the same industry, you know, optical या तो उनकी they're running a shop, so they want to know if they can do something in the existing shops as well. This is one question. Second, which I want to perhaps add on, do you see conversion also? Some people who do want to run their existing ones, they can convert it to a Bon-Ton shop.
You know, we will surely have a system or kind of some kind of collaboration with them where they can come and join our bandwagon. And how it has to be seen, but we already have few queries for that already, and
Right.
we are looking into it, that how to expand their reach and competitive advantage which they can have in their regions, so we can look into that.
Right. A question or मैं लूँगी, and then I'll pass it on to Gaurav if he wants to pick up any questions. Are we also looking at FOCO model, जहाँ पे franchisee would invest and the company would do the operations, or we only need franchisee owned, franchisee operated?
Exceptions can be there.
Okay, and which could be maybe a strategic location which he owns, could be
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Because there is a good opportunity these days, because a lot of property owners are coming who have prime properties in, say, Connaught Place or any other places where they have a very strong site. And for reasons they had, say, especially when fashion was running, now I think a lot of churn is going on. So those property owners, if they have a very prime or good property which suits a premium brand like Bon-Ton, then they can, I think we can consider looking at a kind of a management structure, while the investment and the store would remain in the books of the franchisee, but Bon-Ton can bring a management structure to the that thing, and the revenue share can be divided between both sides. It is a good marriage and long-term marriage in that sense, right?
See, COVID is an opportunity. We should utilize this opportunity to the best of our advantage.
We want to pick up any questions? I think there are many questions answered.
There is a lot of good opportunity in cities like Chandigarh, cities like Ludhiana, cities like Jaipur, cities like Dehradun. Dehradun, one good store can do very, very well. There is a bigger cities in even Delhi. NCR has a huge opportunity. There is a good opportunity in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is a market. Surat is a very strong market. So if you have interest from these markets, you all can reach Franchise India. We will evaluate your interest. We will understand your profile. We'll understand the real estate. There is also a good part is now that they've been, Bon-Ton team has been approached by top leading shopping malls of India and they are offering very good advantage positions and advantage rental positions. They want them to be there because they understand the kind of yield a good optical premium store can do. No fashion brand, no other brand can come close to that. And it is a much better, much stable, much consistent business because you get a subscriber group and the subscribers keep coming back and keep buying from you. And that's the value which the brand really brings in. It has a heritage which is very, very strong, but they're also very conscious that who to partner while they're in hurry, but not in hurry. So this I always say about family businesses which are established. This is a long-term strategy for them. This is not to get into the market. They're already established in the market. So there is a difference between when a startup opportunity comes in, they're more keen on getting in the market, so they're in a little rush. When an established company comes in, and that's what Franchise India are trying to encourage, because this time of COVID, people want to really partner with somebody who has a big foundation. And we are bringing those kind of opportunities which have strong foundation. And that's where we can also go and stand by and recommend positively that this is the right time and right opportunity to invest. So before we, I think, come down to our last, we would like to, Sanjeev, hear your words. You can split and give message on little bit on what is happening around this timing and how you see this industry and business coming of specialty retail going rather even more stronger post this, and any message you want to give it to our audience. And also, Sonia, over to you then, your remark, final remark.
One message is very clear, and COVID, I think it's an opportunity. It's a correction time. A lot of things which were not being done till now. And I think what will happen is it will correct the industry, all industries. And optical industry being, and you can imagine it was one of the only industries which was allowed in most of the states in India to operate during pandemic, many states, and during the first, when they were allowed to open.
Unlocking, right?
Even prior to the first unlock, many more places were allowed to operate because it's a necessity. Everyone requires it. Today, your efficiency depends upon the optical solution you have. If you have a right optical solution, your efficiency increases. And there are studies on it, national, international studies, and they have all proven that beyond any doubt. So it's a great potential which is there in our industry. It is matter of time, that we latch onto it, we invest in it, and if we have passion and dedication to our consumers, I think it can be a great mix of a win-win situation.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev. And I echo what you said. It is very resilient, and this is one essential item which everybody needs. Even in these times of COVID, there was a big latent demand that pented up, and a lot of locations and cities could not make it because many stores were not operating. And this will continue to happen. And what I was reading, this time also had a lot of first-time users that came. A lot of people, and maybe thanks to technology, the screen time increased. I never used it, but I think the last 3 months I felt the load on your eyes is more, and this time also had first time users who came into it. So a big opportunity, and there are almost 35% of Indian population today which needs eye correction or vision correction, but only 25% have their vision corrected, and we still have a big population of 10% which still does not take any care and not being serviced, and the penetration is low. We have only one store to about 70,000 people. So great opportunity for a segment like this, but the most important part is the profiling of the partners and the location that we want to get into, which is very imperative for us. And I will request all our viewers who are listening to us, I see a lot of inquiries coming from locations. If you can send your applications, we have put in our hotline number. We like to review your profile, understand, and then take it to Sanjeev ji for further discussion. Thank you so much, Sanjeev ji.
Thank you.
You're muted.
Sir, you need
Thank you very much, Sanjeev ji. Thank you for taking time out. And Archana, over to you for the final thank you note.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sanjeev sir, for taking out time and talking how you are serving from politician to film industry to common Indian man. We truly respect that. Thank you so much, all the participants who have joined us today. Thank you, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, for sharing your insights about the industry and your suggestions. The recorded version of this particular webinar is available at the FB page of Franchise India Brands Limited. That's a site where you can go and see the recorded version of this particular webinar and all the previously conducted 66 webinars along with our franchisee shows. You can write to us on our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838. I will repeat, 97176-83838. We will try to give you a call back or information within 2 hours. You can also reach out to Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their respective LinkedIn ID. We would love to hear from you any kind of suggestion, feedback, so that we can improve our processes. But before you go, tomorrow, it's 68th edition, and we have again great brand presenting to you, Sugar Swap, and we have founders as well as co-founder of this great brand presenting you keto food for cloud kitchen based business opportunity. Yes, do not miss this chance. We have just shared the registration link with you. Do register by today itself so that sharp 12 o'clock tomorrow you can join us for this particular great brand.
So they have actually created all the products which you consume, which are keto diet based. Keto diet has become very, very popular. And this is a company which has done a big innovation in the whole category of keto diet. And you have a lot of products from your bakery products to all that what you enjoy in a regular meal. This all is keto based. So see you tomorrow for a very innovative business model.
Sure. So tomorrow, join us tomorrow sharp at 12 p.m. We would love to digitally interact with you with another great brand tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, take good care of yourself. Goodbye from our side.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Sona.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you so much,
Thanks.
sir.